There is very little information to work on about what a header is. All we know at this time is that they are living machines which come from Gosei world, and that each header is an animal that is representative of one of the three tribes from Gosei world, Skyic, Landic, and Seaic. Though perhaps simply seeing them would describe best what they actually are, and that is the heads of animals. These are the 5 basic headers that belong to the Goseiger. We have the dragon header, phoenix header, snake header, tiger header, and shark header. When they are summoned, they all appear from out of a giant stone statue that appears on Header Island, which is usually invisible to human eyes. Okay. Regardless of whether or not they come from the Seaic, Skyic, or Landic tribes, all headers are capable of independent flight when they are initially summoned. They are, after all, just giant flying heads. And that's it. So, that, and because of transformation, that can move. Why it is it can move all the way forward like that, I don't know. Anyways, horn is made of PVC. Phoenix header. This is a little difficult to get to, and it actually snaps open and closed. Snake header is the only one with pupils in the eyes. I guess it was a required feature so that you knew it was a snake. Unlike the other headers, though, the jaw doesn't move, the top of the head actually moves. Tiger header is by far the largest, and it too opens and closes the upper head rather than the jaw. And the shark header, which can open its jaw further than any of the others. That's it. Now here's the interesting thing about the 5 basic headers I've just shown you. When they attach themselves to vehicles created by humans, they become full-sized animals known as Gosei machines. When the dragon header attaches to a passenger airliner, it becomes Gosei Dragon, which actually doesn't really resemble a passenger airliner. But anyways, it's got some nice detail along the neck and the tail, and the wings are actually pretty detailed. Underneath, gets the same kind of treatment. The feet are actually both feet and missiles, so they can actually curl and become claws. Except the toy version can't, it just has wheels there and there. And that's it. When it comes out of the box, a lot of parts are taken apart, but the wings can separate for safety's sake. And they can also pitch up and down. And because of the transformation, you can tilt the wing backwards or forward. And that is Gosei Dragon. When the Phoenix header attaches to an F-15 jet fighter, it becomes Gosei Phoenix. The wings cannot go up any higher than that. They actually snap into that position. And it's got these little back landing gear that can fold away, but that's only for transformation purposes. Gosei Phoenix doesn't really have any posability except for the jaw. And that's it. Notice that the green colored cockpit there cannot be seen from forward profile. When the snake header attaches to a high-speed passenger train, it becomes the Gosei Snake, which is the first snake in Super Sentai history, by the way, which was actually made. There was a Gao Cobra that was designed for Hyakuju Sentai Gao Ranger in 2001, but they never made any prototype toys for it. So it was supposed to replace Gao Armadillo, and the foot along with Gal Rhino, but like I said, that never happened. So this is actually, of the 5 Gosei machines in this set, this is the one that actually looks like a human machine. It actually looks to some degree like a train, because you can see the windows all along there, and then you can see the kind of sort of treads underneath. Treads, wheels, whatever they're called. So yeah, that is Gosei Snake. And this is why the mouth can't fold downwards. It's because as it's rolling along the ground, it would actually, the jaw would hit the ground. So that is Gosei Snake. Oh, and please kindly refrain from making any black snake jokes, okay? Thank you. When the tiger header attaches to a bulldozer, it becomes Gosei Tiger. Doesn't really look like a bulldozer. By the way, just like on Gosei Snake, Gosei Tiger has the cockpit right back there. Notice, even though it's got this little paw up front here, I actually like how they actually designed the back legs right there. That's pretty sweet. It's got 4 wheels it can roll on. Here's the other one. It actually does look like the scoop of a bulldozer right there. So, yeah. This thing has no articulation whatsoever, except for the head. And that's it. And when the shark header attaches to a submarine, it becomes Gosei Shark. Well, kind of. I don't know. I actually like the cockpit, the way that thing is shaped on there. That's kind of nice. It's different, you know. It's not recessed somewhere along the body, whatever. Very Madmobile-looking pods right there. If you've ever watched Inspector Gadget, you know what I'm talking about. Little thrusters in the back there. And again, there's no posability on Gosei Shark, except for that. Oh, and the landing gear can retract as well. And so those are the 5 Gosei machines. The transformation for this toy is, I'll say, jaw-droppingly simple. Basically, if you watch the show, there are no secret switches, there are no secret buttons, there's no panels you have to flip open, nothing particularly important. All makes for a rather dull and boring transformation process. And so I feel it is my obligation to liven things up a little bit. Posability on the Tensou Gattai Gosei grade is nothing we haven't seen in the last, 35 years. Shoulders ratchet every 45 degrees. These wings are capable of folding back, which means you can get that arm way up there. However, officially the wings are stored upwards like this. Not like this, like this. Now, even though there's a hole in the left hand, the one on the right is actually designated for the dragon sword, which has its own header mounting point, by the way. Open that up, and the handle is already provided for you. And you carefully just wedge it in there. And I do mean carefully. Close the mouth. The mouth is not going to hold it. It actually pinches it from either side. And there you have the dragon sword for the Tensou Gattai Gosei grade. And that's it. That is literally all that this toy can do. Ava, that's it, huh? What about all these black points? Well, I'm glad you asked about that. You see, these, as you might have guessed by now, are part of the special cross-compatibility gimmick that's going to unite this toy with all of the others that are coming on down the line. Assuming, of course, we don't get limb swapping again, God help us. So anyways, what are these things for? Well, they are header attachment points. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you can take any header that you want to, and you can literally stick it anywhere that you darn well please. Take this down here, and stick it over here. And while I'm at it, you know what, I'm just going to stick this. Actually, no. Believe it or not, there actually is a certain way that some headers will fit onto these things. Notice that the dragon header will fit this way, but it will not fit on this way. It simply won't let you. Get on it. There you go. Which kind of makes you wonder why it is that those wings can fold forward and backward, huh? And by the way, there is an attack that the Gosei Great can perform. I can't think of what it's called off the top of my head. Head. Whoa! No pun intended. Where all of the headers pop off and fly towards an enemy like little miniature missiles. And so, you'll also notice that the regular mounting points are for the header heads as well. So there's no special attachment for these. Oh, and also these PVC wings can be folded down. Flip the head around and, yep, there's another attachment point right there. Well, good grief, how many header attachment points are there? Let's count them, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And that's not even counting the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 header attachment points that aren't even in use right now. So two things come to mind. One, this is going to be another accessory mecha year. And two, there's plenty of room for expansion on just this toy alone. So it stands to reason that if the Goseiger have Gosei cards for summoning headers, turning headers into Gosei machines, and then combining those Gosei machines, then it's reasonable to assume that there would be a Gosei card as well for the finishing attack.
Gotcha.
Tensou! Yikes, that's loud. Yeesh. Oh, and by the way, thanks to the help of a couple of YouTubers, I found out he's not actually saying gotcha, he's actually saying gotcha. It's a difference of one letter, but it's significant enough that, well, gotcha actually makes more sense than gotcha does. Listen.
Gotcha.
See, he's been opened. He's not saying I've got it, he's saying I'm open. Thanks for the help. So here it is, the moment that everybody's been waiting for. The rant. I get comments saying that my videos run too long. I get comments saying that my videos are funny. I get comments saying that my videos are really great, even though they run really long. Thank you for all those comments, by the way. I really appreciate the feedback. So here I am. I'm set up. I'm ready to do my thing. I'm ready to begin the rant. And I couldn't turn the camera on because when it came down to it, what am I going to talk about? There is so much that is wrong with the DX Tensou Gattai Gosei Great that I literally didn't know where to start. I sat with the camera off for about 15 minutes. Actually, it's more like 20 minutes. I sat with the camera off for 20 minutes trying to decide where do I start. And I thought to myself, why is it that I dislike this thing? I mean, what is the standard that I'm holding the Gosei Great to? You know what the standard is? The legacy of Super Sentai Robos, which stretches back all the way to 1975. Well, technically 1979, because that's when the Battle Fever Robo made the debut, but anyways. What is the legacy? What is it about the legacy of Super Sentai that is causing me to be so repulsed by the Gosei Great? It is the strength, integrity, and dedication that came before. What you see before you stretches back only as far as 10 years, but I think it'll provide an adequate base for my argument. What do you see here, other than 10 years of investment and a load of money? Not to get too philosophical here, but I see ingenuity of design for transformations, materials that are used, and just plain old artistry. I mean, look at this! 10 years! It's not one robot used for 3 or 4 years and then it's replaced by another one. No. Every single year, the previous series is replaced by a new one. And it is because of that ingenuity and that marvel and that wonder that keeps me coming back every single year. And that is definitely part of the appeal of Super Sentai. You come back to it and it's familiar, and yet at the same time something fresh and inspiring every single time. But in recent years, as we've all become aware by now, the line is beginning to suffer. And there are many questions that have been raised about the future of Super Sentai, which is usually boiled down to, oh god, what kind of gimmick is it going to be? Is it going to be limb swapping? Is it going to be an electronic feature? Is it going to be a motorized feature? What kind of accessory mecha are we going to have to deal with this time? And to me, the Gosei Great represents a great uncertainty of the future and of the present. There are some things that I simply do not bring up in my reviews. How tight the connection is between two components, the design of the sculpt and the molding process, the materials that are used, the paint applications, how strong the joints are. The integrity of the designs is one of the things that I never have to worry about because it never changes. It's so well done year after year after year. Regardless of what they look like, regardless of what the gimmicks are, regardless of anything you see here, the variations on a theme, it's just variations on a theme, and yet that theme stands strong. And really, that is the only thing that works on the Gosei Great. The integrity of the design as far as structural strength, paint applications, and mold designs. Yeah, there's a little simplicity in the mold, but okay. There's a little simplicity over here. There's a little simplicity over here, and oh god, don't even make me bring this up. However, it is in the details that the DX Gosei Great falters. For example, it's called a phoenix, but is that really a phoenix? Only in name is it. I mean, it's supposed to resemble an animal, and yet it has characteristics of a vehicle, I think. I mean, I don't know what this thing is. Is that really a phoenix? I don't think so. Why is the cockpit covered up so you can't see, so, you know, Gosei Pink can't see past? There's this tiny little landing gear here. Why can't this landing gear fold away? Why is it's got this tiny little mid-body right here, nondescript back body here, and then it's got this huge, thoroughly detailed head. It's so inconsistent with itself, it's ridiculous. Oh, and then it has this giant black thing sitting on top that couldn't have been folded away somewhere or covered up in some fashion. This I can understand, but this, no, I don't get that. And I would say pretty much the same thing of the Gosei Shark, which is by far the most malformed and misshapen and doesn't even really look like a shark as you can get. Doesn't even really look like a submarine. It's got little turbo engine thingies here, and like I said, Madmobile pods there, and I kind of like the cockpit right there, but again, very, very misshapen. I mean, look how tiny this is up here. It's supposed to take up that whole length right there, and then it shrinks down, and then boom, all of a sudden. The tail, I'm not going to comment on that, and then this is here, and again, tiny little landing gear. Nice that they fold away, but I don't know, it just doesn't work for me. And is it really a shark, or is it a dolphin, or I don't know. I guess it's a shark because it has pointy teeth, I guess. The only appealing part of this component is the details of this caterpillar assembly, and that's it. The transformation is stupid simple. Done. That's not even a transformation. It's just looking up. The only really transformation is you pull back on the switch, pull the head down, and that's it. It does nothing else except for that. What the hell is this, by the way? I always wondered what Super Sentai would do with the snake mecha. Well, we finally found out. They turned it into a train. Honestly, this one probably offends me the least, just because at least it can do something. It kind of acts like a snake, in that it's flexible. But it also, has the attributes of a train, which, okay. Like I said, this is probably the least offensive of all 5 Gosei machines. There has been only one other Red Dragon in Super Sentai history, and it was the Ryu Seiyo from 1992's Gosei Sentai Dairanger. Ah, Gosei, huh? No, not really. And this isn't really the Ryu Seiyo, this is actually the Deluxe Red Dragon Thunder Zord. Anyways, yeah, I've got one of these, by the way. This Red Dragon is awesome because it has articulation of the yin-yang, which is reminiscent of a dragon. Well, except for that part. But, and while majority of these movements, actually now that I think about it, all of the movements in this toy are strictly for transformation, this is still awesome. Okay, this is actually one of my favorite pieces, despite the peeling decals and the dust on it. I love this thing. This is great. Just in dragon mode, by the way, okay? Just like this. However, the Gosei dragon does not work. The head is, I don't know, it looks like a parrot and a parakeet and something else, and it's got teeth. And when you get to the tail, I mean, my God, what are those things right there? Those, what is this? What is this? Jesus. And having missile launchers for feet is a good idea, but then when you say that the missiles actually are the feet, that's something different, because you see, like I said, the claws actually appear in the show. But I suppose I'm getting picky about that. And that's the cockpit, really? He can't really see where he's going right now, can he? It's that wing structure, though. The shoulders. If you watch the way the wings bend in the show, there's actually a joint sitting up here, and it actually flaps up and down, and the head is able to bend up and down. You can actually do that with the Ryu Seiyo. You can't do it with this. It's just, the only thing that moves on this is this, and this looks like crap. So, you've done me no favors with this. But you want to know the one thing that really, really pisses me off the most about the Gosei Dragon, and it's unique only to the Gosei Dragon, is a goddamned parts former. Which, as you all know, I really don't like parts forms. I mean, the only thing that transforms is the head. And that's it. And because there's a header attachment point right there, it just means the head is only there for the Gosei Great, and really this is all you're going to be working with. I mean, having the wings fold back, that's not really a transformation because, well, you can use them in any other mode. So, yeah, it's a parts former. At least all the others actually, like, transform even if it's one step. Additionally, it's the simplicity of the transformation that really, really, really pisses me off. 3 of the components have one step. You fold something over, you fold the head up in that case, and that's it. One step transformation, and then you attach them. Separating heads notwithstanding, okay, that's not part of it. And I don't really count landing gear as part of the transformation because, generally speaking, landing gear usually isn't part of the transformation. Usually. So I don't count that on here. In other words, 1, 2, 3 components have only one step before it transforms. Or before it combines. That sucks. I already commented in my review for the Tensou about the conflict of interest between the Gosei cards and the collecting gimmick known as the headers. So you're going to have to look at my review of the Tensou to hear my complaints about that. But I suppose I should reaffirm in some fashion my position that I don't like the idea of having 2 collectible gimmicks in the same season. Having unique collectible characters and then adding accessory mecha on top of that is one thing. But the collectible gimmick is already built into the characters. which already makes it overkill when you have to pick up whatever is coming in the future. Down here, and here, 2 back here. That's a really lousy way to store the sword. Is that even really a sword? That does not look like a sword to me. Oh yeah, and by the way, officially the sword appears, the dragon sword, by the way. Dragon sword? Okay. Officially the dragon sword looks like this. You can actually turn it around so the black is on both sides. But officially it's like that. I mean, what the hell is this thing sticking out the side? You couldn't have had this turned to the side and then have stick it on a post or something? That would have been nice. But really, the one question that's kind of burning on my mind is, why even introduce a collecting gimmick that involves taking the head off of a robot? Where's the appeal in that? These aren't Legos. Swapping these things on your... I mean, I don't know. Are kids getting a kick out of this? I don't know. I can only tell you from a collector's standpoint, I have never, ever, ever heard of a gimmick that involved swapping heads. There might have been some Lego character a couple years ago. What was it? Galador Cursit? There was that. I mean, there have been toy lines, certainly not related to Super Sentai, that involve swapping parts, and that's their thing. I mean, that's how they operate. But not Super Sentai. I mean, swapping heads? Who came up with that? The card gimmick is just fine with me, but swapping heads, if it had just been swapping heads, I'm not even talking about cards anymore, if it had been just swapping heads, I'd still be scratching my head over it. But now you've got collecting cards, which are kind of redundant when it comes to swapping heads, because you have to follow this gimmick, and you have to follow the other gimmick. It's very, very confusing. And so now I'm looking towards the future of 2010, and how the toy line from Tensou Sentai Goseiger is going to play out. The one thing that concerns me is all of these extra header points that have not been used. I mean, obviously you can't do anything with the basic robot, and, you know, how many times has that happened? But that there are so many of them that are uncovered has me really concerned that we're going to be getting into the cluster Megazord territory really quickly this year. And more importantly, what's going to attach to all these header points? Is it going to be more headers? Is that what they're planning to attach to all these things? Are we going to have to get one set's going to cover, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8 of those all at one time? Now, certainly future combinations with different sets are going to involve those, no doubt. But I seriously doubt you could put anything heavy on these wings, or that anything would be viably used on the sword. Oh, and by the way, what in the hell is that arrow there for? Seriously. I mean, you think the kids didn't know that you're supposed to slide it on like that. They didn't have an arrow on the engine, when you put it together. No, you just slide it on and done. What do they think the kids all of a sudden in 2 years' time have gotten real stupid or something? I don't know. There's so much that's wrong here that went well here, and that is what has me concerned. I feel like swapping heads and block formers is as simple as you can get a transformer. You can't even call this a transformer. It's a combiner that... It's a block former. It's a parts former. It's anything except this. And I don't mean to sound melodramatic, but I'm really, really concerned that this is going to become part of the legacy of Super Sentai, and that this is the future. What's it going to be like in 2011 for the 35th anniversary Super Sentai Series, which hasn't obviously been named yet, and won't be for months to come? Is it just going to be a block of plastic, you stick it on there, and that's it? I mean, you're just going to dispense with this? You know what I would like to see for a gimmick someday on Super Sentai? And this, by the way, will just drive some of the CDX staff nuts if they ever watch this. I would like to see glowing parts, you know, just strips, or the eyes, or maybe you open up a panel and there's like a huge cannon just sitting there, just wah, and then boom. You know, I'd like to see glowing parts, if only one time. This isn't quite how I plan to close out the video, but I would But I would also like to see a return to a simpler design style where you didn't have to get 4 or 5 or even 6 accessory mecha on the set. I'd like to return to a simpler time. The last time that happened was way over here in 2005. You had no accessory mecha to deal with. I mean, what you saw was what you got. One robot, and it could interact with the others, and that was it. The only parts swapping that you had was the chest, and they really didn't do that much in the show, but I digress. The point is, I don't think that Super Sentai is done yet, but I do think that Bandai, Toei, and Plex need to rethink their strategy immediately. Too many accessories, too little transformation. That is a policy that I want to see reversed immediately. Because I value the intricate detailing. I value the materials. I value the intricate transformations that are even stylistic in some ways. These are things I like about Super Sentai. And this right here is coming to stand for everything that I dislike about Super Sentai. It worked! Originally it worked, right here. The accessory mecha on this were awesome, but the transformations were really nice. They were really intricate designs for each and every one of them. There was nothing wrong that happened here. But this just... I don't know. I honestly think, ladies and gentlemen... Should I even say ladies anymore? Are there any women who watch these reviews? Who read my reviews? Who go to CDX at all? Anyways, I'm beginning to wonder now how much longer I'm willing to put up with this before I throw up my hands and say, that's it, I'm done. Is this the beginning of the end of my interest in Super Sentai? I don't want it to be. Look how long I've followed it. Is this the beginning of the end? I hope not, because I still see a lot of fun back here. And I don't want to have to go into the past in order to enjoy something that could have continued on into the future for much longer. Something needs to change. Something radical needs to happen. And this is not it. You know what? I don't even think you deserve to be in this endless lineup anymore.
愛する星を守るため